Hi and welcome today. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Otto Tom. So you are preparing for your visa interview. We're going to be focusing on the tourist visa, which is the B1, B2 visa category. And then we're going to be discussing common questions that are asked and then how you should respond to those questions. Why do you want to visit the United States of America? Or what is the purpose of your visit to the United States of America? And then your response should be simple. If you are on vacation, I'm on vacation for 2 weeks and I would like to spend time in New York. Simple. You can pick any destination that you want, but you need to stress the fact that you are on vacation and then you intend to visit XYZ destination. You have to know where you are going to because it will just help your case. If you're going to visit a family or a friend, then you just state it there. Or I'm on vacation and then I would like to spend time with my sister in Houston. But you should also know that the moment you say you're visiting a friend or a family, then you have to be prepared with whatever questions that they may have regarding that family or friend. So they would like to know your relationship with that person. So you must make sure that you have that information readily available. How long do you plan to stay in the United States? You should be definite about how long you plan to stay. You could say, I plan to stay for 2 weeks. If you say you're traveling for let's say for example, 5 months, it would raise more questions if you claim to be employed, because which employer would allow you to stay away from work for 5 months? So you do want to be clear about the time that you would be spending in the United States. Have you been to the U.S. before? If it's your first time, of course, it's going to be a simple no. But if you have been to the U.S. in the past, you want to be clear about when you were there and how long you spent in the U.S. Where will you stay in the U.S.? Or where will you stay in XYZ destination? Let's assume that you are traveling to, let's say, Houston. Where would you stay in Houston? Where would you stay in Atlanta? Where would you stay? It's simple. If you're staying with a family or a friend, you need to tell them, I would be staying with my sister in Atlanta. But of course, if you mention that you have a sister or you have a family friend or if you have a boyfriend, you need to give more information. Be ready with that information. Where does your sister work? What does your sister do? This person you claim you're staying with, what is your relationship with that person? So you need to have that information. If you'll be staying, if you do not know anyone in the city and you'll be staying in the hotel, it's very simple. I would be staying in XYZ hotel. And then of course, in your form, you probably would have completed that information in your application form. And then you need to be clear you need to have a valid hotel reservation. So let's say you're like, okay, I'll be staying in XYZ hotel in XYZ location. Very simple. Are you traveling alone? Here, if you're traveling alone, then the answer is an easy yes. But if you're not traveling alone, then you do want to give the information of whoever you're traveling with. And also, the moment you say you're traveling with someone else, make sure you have all their information readily available. Do you have family in the US, or would you be visiting anyone while in the US? You do want to be clear. If you do not have family in the US, say no. If you have a distant cousin that you haven't communicated in 10 years, you do not have family. If you have a friend, a Facebook friend that you just got in touch with, because you knew you were going to visit the US, you do not have family. Give your application the chance to be assessed based on its own merit. You don't need to go and import anyone, into your life just because you're making an application. No. Do you have family in the US? If you do not have family in the US, your answer is no. But if you do have family in the US, then you should volunteer that information. But you should also understand that the visa officer they're trying to see if, okay, is she gonna come back, or is he gonna return? Is she do they know people in the US? Would they get too comfortable that they would not want to come back? So just try and leave your answer. I'm not saying lie, no, do not lie, but keep your answer as honest as possible, and then just do not involve too many people in your visa application. Just allow them see through you and decide if they want to give it to you or if they do not want to give it to you. What do you do, or where do you work? If you work with a company or with the government, then you want to state that yes, you work as an accountant in XYZ firm. If you have a title, you don't want to put it, that's the time to put it out there, I am a partner with XYZ law firm. I work as a marketing executive in XYZ bank. You want to put it out there. If you're self-employed, it's easy. Just say, I am self-employed, and you want to just state out what you do. Define what you do in the most presentable way. You work as business consultant. I'm an entrepreneur. I do XYZ. So you want to put it out there, and make yourself look, serious. You should also know that they're also watching your body language to be sure that you are telling the truth. Remember that they are trained psychologists, and then their job is to figure out if, in their opinion, you're telling the truth or not. Another question they might ask you is, how long have you worked in this place that you have worked in? So they also want to know that you're stable. They also want to see, okay, there's so many reasons why they would ask that question, but most importantly, they want to see if you're stable. And at the same time, they know, okay, if someone works for the first year, they know you might not be entitled. Some organizations, you might not be entitled to leave, and you say you're going on vacation, and then you've only worked there for 6 months. It's like, oh, this person started working here 6 months, and they want to go on vacation. Are they entitled to? They would just assess it against what they know as normal. So you do want to put out that information. Are you single or married? If you're single and you're engaged, you want to put it out there because, I don't know, they want to know if you have ties back at home. If you're single and not engaged, it's not by force. You don't have to say anything. If you're married, of course, they would also like to know, okay, this person is traveling. Why is she traveling without the husband? This person is traveling. Why is he traveling without the wife? They probably would like to. These are things that they would like to understand. So if you're saying that you're married, it's better for you to apply. If you're going on vacation, it's always better to apply with your wife. Because if you say you are married and then you go and apply that you're going on vacation without your family, it's just, I don't know, it won't make you look so good. And then whoever is assessing your visa application may consider that. So if you're married, I always advise, and you're applying for the visa, apply with your wife. If you're going on vacation, it is expected that you should be going on vacation with your wife. So if you're single, of course, you're single. There's nothing you can do about that. You're traveling alone. Your case is even very easy if you're single. So go. Who is paying for your trip? If you're paying for your trip, it's simple. I will be paying for my trip. If you have a father who is paying for your trip, my father will pay for my trip. If your mother is paying for your trip, my mom will pay for my trip. If someone else is paying for your trip, then you need to tell them who is paying for your trip and why. Because the interviewing officer wants to be sure that you can afford to travel and that you would not rely on public funds while you are abroad. So most times, it's always best to make these applications when you are financially stable and able to afford your trips, because it would put you in a better in a better position than if someone else was paying for your trip. Imagine you say, oh, okay, my friend is paying for my trip. It's like, okay, why is your friend paying for your trip? You have to explain why your friend is paying for your trip. So you do want to come across as independent, so ensure that you can afford your trip. Because if you're going on vacation, then you should be able to afford it, right? So if you like the content that I'm sharing here, please subscribe to my channel, and also do not forget to hit the like button to support me. So thank you very much for staying with me, and see you next time.